That one pig. No, you haven't turned that to one pig. You should get these 50, 60 amount of little tray off of one pig. Yeah, or more, because they get a sample.
Right.
So it should be more. Out of 100 and say 30-pound pig, you should be able to get about 70 or 80 little trays. A sample. We expect about this year they said, how many they said? 7,500 to 8,000.
I just want to welcome you again. We are so excited. Kenny and I and all the people from USHG and Carlitz that I'm looking at, we sometimes lose sight in our 8-hour-long boring meetings over the past 4 months that they were really stimulating. That this is an event about you, and so when we started to see you all roll in over the last few days, it really just got us very excited that this is an amazing amazing event about celebrating barbecue, and we're just so proud to have you here. And Danny Meyer, my understanding is that he would like to say a few words himself.
The reason we threw that first block party 3 years ago was that upon opening Blue Smoke, it became evident to us that New York and New Yorkers who love to pride themselves on how smart they are about every single thing in the world had a long way to go when it came to understanding the many different dialects of this beautiful language called barbecue. And we thought that if we could, we certainly couldn't change that all by ourselves at Blue Smoke, but we could certainly contribute something to the dialogue on the understanding and appreciation of barbecue if we would invite some of our friends to join us. And so the goal was that one day this event would really light a fire in New York, no pun intended, under the whole category of barbecue. Get New Yorkers who are so proud about knowing everything about everything really into this sport.
This is a party tonight that American Express has bought out Blue Smoke, and they're inviting a lot of their clients. They're inviting, we have pitmasters coming all in. We have some food people coming here too, you know, that we provided sort of last notice as they were trying to fill up and figure out who they're going to invite. Come on.
We cook 75, 80,000 pounds of meat a week, so we are serving that constantly every week to the public of Texas and whoever's coming down there, visiting, eating. Up here on this trip, we're doing brisket and sausage. We use live oak on our rotisserie grill. We can cook approximately 75 briskets at a time and probably around about 200 pounds of sausage. And
what I did is I started out at like 4:30 this morning. I pulled that last batch of ribs off, and then I put another batch of ribs on. So what I did was I pulled out the firebox, loaded it up with charcoal, let that start to get going. Then I loaded it with a combination of hickory and apple, and fired the pit up nice and hot. Then I reloaded all my ribs. I gave them a nice sweet Kansas City rub. Then from there, they smoked for about 6.5, 7 hours. Pulled them out, threw them in that cooler, and now I'm just kind of really finishing them off right over a charcoal grill here to give it that little.
Usually the rib will have a membrane on the back of it, so we pull that membrane off. And then we put a dry rub on there. It's got about 13 to 14 different spices in the dry rub. And then we let that marinate for 24 hours. And then we smoke her up to 240 degrees. We lay the ribs on there and put a couple of sticks of cottonwood in there. And then just close the door and let them go.
You gotta get some of that.
Once we pulled the briskets off, we cranked it up to about 2250 and 300 to cook the sausage. Right now, the hottest spot on the pit is closest to the fire. So we're just kind of getting the smoke on the sausage back here and then moving it to the pole.
If you're the kind of person like me, for whom creamy sweetness is the antidote to smoke, you're probably the kind of person that likes cream soda or floats, but I think I've got a wine here for you as well. All right, so have I lost anyone? You guys kind of understand where we're going with this? Here comes your next job, real quick, to talk about it. We're going to learn some things. Now, here's what I want you to do at this point. As we taste the wine, you see how the wines are all written across the top of the matrix? Just write one word underneath each wine. Champagne. An obvious word to write would be bubbles. Okay? If that's the thing that most occurs to you. The thing that most occurs to you is dill pickles, right? Dill pickles. I don't really care.
It's hard work, and someone's got to do it, right?
I'm from Wilson, North Carolina. My specialty is the whole hog. The reason we like the whole hog because it gives the customer an opportunity to taste all the different blends of the meats. That is the ribs, the shoulders, the hams, the bacon, the tenderloin, the various things that people cut out of the animal in order to have a comfort zone for what they like to barbecue. So we say if you barbecue, you know, you should grab the whole hog and be able to strut your stuff. What we're doing this year, different than last year, because the crowd we were so popular with the crowd, that Danny and Kenny and David suggested that we ante up a little more, meaning that we cook more hogs. So I was crazy enough to agree to cooking, can you believe it? 30 whole hogs in New York City over the weekend. Unheard of. But we're excited. We have managed to pull it off. We have plenty of whole hog barbecue for the customers. And everybody's having a great time. The day is lovely. God's given us a beautiful day here in New York, so we're just excited to be here. My style, as I said earlier, is more of a blend of different cuts of the meat. And the emphasis more so is to give you a chance to really get those different kinds of taste buds to be able to identify and blend in with those different types of portions that are cut out of the hog that the other guys are doing, such as the ribs and such as the pulled shoulder or the pulled ham. And so we're saying, hey, you need to taste it all together in order to really experience what the barbecue is. So rather than separating it, we take the whole hog and we chop him up, and we use our specialty of the Easter style of mixture, which is the vinegar base, hot peppers, salt, and a little more ingredients, and blend it together, and boy, you're talking about something good. And also I throw in a little technique. We throw in the crackling, and what the crackling is now, after we cook the pig for about 14, 16 hours and haul the meat out of him, we're able to put the skin back on and turn it into crackling. And we crunch that up and mix that in with the barbecue, and that's really takes me to a different level than the rest of the guys.
Can I get a few more on your toes?
Yeah, man, get me you want. Get a lot of it.
Dinosaur Barbecue is the first restaurant in 10 million years to serve barbecued dinosaur.
That's good statement.
I'm gonna end it there. I'm not gonna make a Jurassic pork joke, but I am gonna ask John. John opened in New York City less than a year ago, and what I wanted to ask John about was really about the media.
What I got blindsided by was some of the press. I felt like I was taking some people's firstborn by opening up a barbecue restaurant in the city. I just never had to deal with that before. So some people loved us, some people hated us, so I just had to stop listening to it all and just kind of focus on what I was doing and gauging what my customers were telling me. That was the most important thing. And the neighborhood was real good to me, and we just said F them.
I want to just make a comment to this question about New York and all the different styles. I don't care where you go, whether it's Texas, where you can get pork ribs and brisket and beef ribs, and you can get huge pork chops. Everybody, everywhere, does a lot of different things. And it's not the trying to do a lot of different things that makes it a challenge in New York. It's time. There is no ingredient in barbecue more important than time. It takes time to make great barbecue.
Big Bob Gibson's shoulder, which I think, although I haven't had your shoulder yet, it is the best I've ever had. And actually, he won the World Championship the year I was a finals judge. See, I had no idea why I was a finals judge. I almost didn't take it. I had only judged 4 times, and I told him that I didn't know enough about whole hog. I had never tasted the pancreas or anything. And